So, I know you might be wondering kung bakit wala akong upload na kahit anong podcast episode these past few months. Honest answer, tinatamad ako. Pero, um, para sa akin, it's a lot harder to maintain creating content on YouTube than on TikTok. Kasi on TikTok, very fast-paced lang. And halos araw-araw naman merong topic na pwedeng pag-usapan. Not unlike yung podcast, kailangan kasi talaga very structured. Well, you can go on tangents here and there, pero parang kahit papaano kailangan ng structure. And I think structure isn't really my thing when it comes to creating content. I have structure personally with my life, pero like with creating content, I sort of just wing it. So parang it defeats my whole brand kung I schedule content and I structure the things that I want to talk about. But for this episode, I did list down some things that I do want to talk about. And let's start off para naman makabawi ako sa inyo kahit papano since it's been quite a while since we posted an episode. I don't promise that I'll be posting things anytime soon, but I'll try. Okay? Makoy, dahil sa ito. Na-challenge ako sa'yo eh. Pero, yeah. Subscribe kayo kay Makoy kung like niyo yung content niya. I love the guy. Anyway, so today I want to talk about some things regarding relationships. And the first thing I have here is codependency in relationships. I think it's one of the most underrated aspects that is often overlooked. That's called a relationship killer. Kasi it can be very innocent eh. Parang you just want to be around each other all the time, and you find that sweet, and you find that really, you know, healthy, and you find that normal. But the truth of the matter is, napaka essential para sa magjowa or para kahit sa mag-asawa actually to have some time apart. And the number one thing that you should maintain when it comes to your relationships is your individuality. The way that you see life changes when you're in a relationship if you have individuality. Kasi kahit na you're technically like a team, you still want to have like some space for yourself in order to flourish, in order to grow, in order to be a better person. Because ang dami yung mga relationships na nakikita ko yung nag-fail solely because naging na lang silang isang big blob of a person and wala na silang personal identity, you know? Yung naging identity na nila, yung relationship nila. And knock on wood, pero kapag kunwari, hindi nag-work out yung relationship, and then everything's ruined, everything's over, everything's, destroyed, they're left with basically nothing kasi they poured their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears inside the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you would be reserved and like hindi mo ibibigay yung all mo sa relationship. Of course, that's like really, ano naman yun eh, parang automatic naman yun na kapag nagmamahal tayo, madalas binibigay natin yung lahat-lahat natin. What I mean by leaving some space for yourself is that you maintain your sense of identity when it comes to entering relationships kasi that's the number one thing that tends to get lost in translation over the years. And me and my fiance have probably done a good job when it comes to maintaining our, sense of identity, sense of self, sense of purpose. Kasi most of the toxic relationships that I know tend to leave behind the things that they love doing when they're in relationships. Dati mahilig silang mag-travel, dati mahilig silang mag-music, dati mahilig silang gumawa ng kung ano-ano, and then they end up entering that relationship specifically, and one by one, those hobbies, those passions, those side quests, diminish. Nawawala sila isa-isa. And I think that's one of the glaring red flags that you might see in a relationship that might seem healthy. But if a person starts losing interest with the things that they used to love before, like really love with a burning passion, talagang dun mo marirealize na mas maganda talaga nagli-leave ka ng space for yourself. And once you begin to realize that and you explain that to your partner and you communicate that with your partner, you'll find it really refreshing to have like some time apart. It's not that your time apart is, I mean, your time together is exhausting and nakakaubos, hindi yun eh. Kailangan kasi talaga meron kang sarili mong bubble where you're either surrounded by your friends or you're just alone doing the stuff that you want. Syempre, maayos naman na bagay, di ba? So, yun. I think I crossed that of the list. I crossed that from the list really quickly. I'm really proud of myself. I'm trying to stay in topic as best as I could. This is one of the struggles that I have as a person with ADHD. I'm right now side eyeing. Ano daw? Tinitingnan ko sa screen ko kung ano pa yung mga pwede natin pag-usapan. So, isa sa mga struggles ko naman bilang content, wow, nice segue. Isa sa mga kagaya ng segue na to sa sponsor natin sa video na to. This is the new mic which I'll talk about later in the, sa huli. But if you're liking the audio, if you're liking the quality, wala akong kahit anong inedit dito. This was sponsored. Speaking of, I really quick story. This was like a full circle moment kasi Maono might not know this, but I actually emailed them before asking for a sample mic. And back then I had like 2,000, 3,000 followers on TikTok. That was on 2021, 2020. And sadly, they rejected kasi wala daw akong followers and I did not meet the requirements. And then, like a few weeks ago, they reached out and like sent a proper microphone. And it's all thanks to you guys. Sa mga nanonood natin dyan, either from TikTok or from YouTube. Mind you, there are two cats right now meowing kasi yung dalawa kong pusa in heat sila. So, I don't know if it's picking it up or not. Tingnan natin mamaya sa post. But yeah, I want to talk about my struggles as a content creator, specifically in YouTube. I think for the most part, TikTok is really fun since it's really tailored for who I am as a person onto the next type of person. As a person with ADHD, I try to keep up all the time, but that tends to be really exhausting for me. So it's either I'm way out of focus or I'm completely fixated at something. I have no in betweens. It's either super into something ako or super disassociated. That's just basically who I am. And I think TikTok encapsulates that properly with the content that I create on social media kasi parang araw-araw halos hindi naman ako mauubusan ng pwedeng pag-usapan. It depends lang kung gusto ko bang pag-usapan yung bagay na yun. So, dun papasok yung struggles ko as a content creator when it comes to creating videos for YouTube. Since at the beginning of the year, maybe after my birthday or before my birthday, nung binili namin to yung camera to, I actually made a promise that I'll be making 50 videos in a year. In hindsight, like by comparison, the most number of videos that I posted on TikTok in a day is 16. 16 videos. 1-6. Sorry. 1-6 videos. 16 videos in a day. And if you think about it, 50 doesn't sound that big, right? I don't know if you're hearing my cat. I hope not. 50 doesn't sound that big, diba? Pero it was that big. And I only made it to, I don't know, 6 videos. Because I did not account for the fact that I had to edit these videos. And kinailangan kong, lagyan ng effort. Kaya nga sinabi ko sa inyo, I had to preface that I only had 2 modes. It's either I was super disassociated or super fixated. And sadly, it took me a lot of effort to get into my over-fixated state. And oftentimes, whenever I would start to edit things, ADHD paralysis just kicks in and I end up not finishing the video at all. Or I hyperfixate on the details and then I end up editing for 6 hours for a 30-minute vlog video. And that kind of took a toll on me when it comes to creating content for YouTube. That's why I don't think I can sustainably move forward with the challenge that I've been doing. Heck, it's October. And the last video I did was what? Pailan na yan? October. I think around June or May pa yata yung last kong in-upload na video. So I think that speaks volumes when it comes to like how difficult it is to maintain consistency whenever you create content for YouTube. Kasi I think people underestimate the amount of work that just goes into over fixating, like hyper fixating into like editing the videos that you'll do for YouTube. I don't know if you're still here, like listening, but I think these podcasts are a little bit like therapeutic for me to some degree, kasi you know I just get to go off. Parang if you know Ryan Higa, he started a podcast before called Off the Pill, and that's just like basically what this is. Just speak on tangents and like completely unrelated stuff. Just go off the pill, But I don't do medications anymore. Anyway, so another topic. With regards dun sa struggles as a content creator, Makoy and I had the conversation last night. It was a really good one. I think para sa akin, the only people that could really understand the struggles of a content creator is a kapwa content creator, because it's such a lonely hobby if you think about it. Because yes, you get to meet friends and people, but those are the only people that kind of like understand the struggles that you go through as a content creator, kasi nga sila din nandun sila sa spot na yon. And para sa akin, I sometimes get sad when like, 'di ba, alam nyo naman, alam ng iba sa inyo siguro, like I do music, right? I love creating music. I love writing songs. And sometimes it gets to me when like people that I don't complain. Like, don't get me wrong. I am immensely grateful for the things that I've been experiencing now with regards to like content creation, anything concerned with, content creation. But sometimes it gets to you when it comes to like people knowing you for the thing that you're not really paying attention to. Parang the content creation thing was like, yes, I put in effort, I put in work, but not as much effort and work as I did put in my music career. There were times where I would like travel to Manila and QC and NCR in general and just, go to unpaid gigs, like wala naman bayad yung mga gigs, and then go there, have like maybe 15 to 20 people listen to your music. And nothing beats the thrill of like those people listening to your music and like trying to sing along to the lyrics that they've never heard. Although I'm very like I said, I'm immensely grateful for the platform that I have now, and malaking pasasalamat sa inyo yun, guys, kasi I never really expected myself as someone you would listen to. Pero alam mo yun, it's kind of one of those moments na kung sana pag pwede na pwede pa. Alam mo yun, I still really want to pursue music. So with regard to that, kagabi pinag-uusapan namin ni Makoy yung like viewer count whenever we stream live. And I think at some point, sa mga nagtatanong kung bakit hindi na ako ganong nakikipag-away or nakikipag-debate sa mga live stream na ginagawa ko, I think at some point it got really exhausting. Wherein I knew for a fact that people wanted to see me debate someone. People wanted me to fight someone. And people wanted me to like get pissed off online. And yes, it got like the most views that I got going live was like 700 people watching like live. If you like, for context, my high school campus had like 600 students all in all. Imagine like 700 people watching you debate someone online. And it was like an addictive dopamine hit, but at some point, if you're a person that's self-aware, you know how unhealthy that could get, Kahit na rewarding siya, yes, you get views, you get, admiration, you get validation from the people. It gets unhealthy at some point. Nakakapagod siya eh. And the very purpose why I started the live itself was that so I could interact with my supporters, with my audience, with the people that enjoyed my content. And it eventually transformed or transitioned into something really toxic, honestly. Kasi, yes, the people stayed because they wanted to support me and they wanted to like, ooh, period, slay, over my statements. Pero I think about the people who just want to be there for like a chill time, like a really tired day from work, from school, and then bigla makikita nila ako nagkikipag-away, 'di ba? Parang, and then it gets me like really sad kasi whenever people would join my streams now that are more relatively chill, they would say, "Uy, buti naman Kuya Gabe, hindi ka na nakikipag-away. Parang last time kasi galit na galit ka." Parang sometimes it makes me really sad kasi akala ng mga tao that's my default state. They think that I'm always on edge and angry and argumentative and angry. Did I say angry? Pero when in reality, if you ask the supporters that saw me in person, like who ask for pictures, who I sit with and have conversations with, I'm a relatively chill guy in person. And I think there's like a persona that I built for myself, which is very understandable kasi very, minsan controversial naman kasi talaga yung mga content na ginagawa ko. Na minsan, some people think that, let's say, for example, ganito, yung mga artista, diba, they play roles. I'm not saying that I'm playing a role na debater ako or anything. That's a part of who I am as a person. It's not like a role that I play. But sometimes people are unable to, compartmentalize people's personalities. Alam mo yun? There's Gabe, like the debater. There's Gabe, the content creator. There's Gabe, the musical artist. And there's so many. A person is a multifaceted being. Ang dami niyang layers to himself that we don't really know. And minsan nakakalungkot whenever people think of you as someone who's like that. Parang kahit naman siguro nakaka-enjoy na, well, okay, I'll be honest, nakaka-enjoy na lampasuhin, parang talunin yung mga ka-debate ko and everything, like proving a point. You just get sick of it. Parang after this, after this, what's the point? Diba? So eventually, I kind of like transitioned my live streams back to like being generally chill and like accommodating. Well, accommodating naman talaga yung live stream ever since, kahit kapag nagkikipag-debate. But now, whenever there's like people who's like commenting crazy stuff, I just ignore them and like pay attention to the people that want to share their stories, want to talk to me and interact. But there's like a downside to that. That's not really a downside in hindsight. Mas mababa yung views. Like 60, 50. But like McCoy said something that really hit me. Like, alam mo, man, sabi niya, we should learn how to recontextualize the way we see numbers just because we're getting big now. And he's right. Like before I would have like 11, 10, 8, 5 viewers on my streams and I'd feel like I'm on top of the world. And nothing beats that feeling when you get to interact with people and know that you somehow made them happier than when they entered the live stream. And it's a lot more difficult to accommodate people when kapag dumadami na yung live stream. So right now, even if kunwari magsa-start off yung stream, maraming papasok na viewers, aabot ng 200, 140, tapos makikita nila, hindi naman siya nagkikipag-away. Tapos aalis na sila. And then the people that really wanna interact with you, it's not that ayaw makipag-interact ng mga umalis. It's just that they're looking for something a little bit more crazy, Pero yung mga nagstay, you get to build like a community that really loves you and supports you and like listens to the things that you say. Not because you're flooring someone, Pero dahil napapasaya mo talaga sila. And so, dude, if you're watching this, Makoy, I really appreciate that talk. That helped me put things in perspective talaga. And speaking of live streams, marami din mga tao nagtatanong kung anong trabaho ko kapag kunwari naka-live ako. I don't really disclose my job online. So the reason for that is medyo tinanggap ko na public figure ako, 'di ba? Parang kahit ayokong tanggapin, I'm not really used to it yet. But I hope I will. Pero hindi pa rin talaga ako sanay. So, I think my job, my day job, the things that I do apart from content creation, I choose to keep them for myself just so that I could, maintain a sense of privacy for myself. Parang illusion ba na private pa rin yung buhay ko kahit hindi naman. And and I think that's one of the challenges as a creator as well, na minsan napakahirap mag-maintain ng level of privacy when you create content kasi people think that they have access to your life, which they don't. And not saying what I do for a living kind of like sets the boundary straight na, okay, I'm a content creator, but like, I'm not gonna let you know everything about me. Parang ganun. So, yeah. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Kahit sobrang bilis lang. It's been 21 minutes of me yapping. Sana may nuggets kayo. And if you're really struggling right now, just know that you can come back to my content, watch my videos, and feel like you have company. Always. And this was Gabe My 2 Cents, episode 2. Actually, this is episode 3. I recorded an episode 2, but I didn't really like it, so this is episode 2. So, peace out.